Nigeria, which is the largest African economy with a GDP of $443 billion as at 2020, and the most populous African country with over 200 million people, only has an insurance penetration rate of 0.5%, with the sector contributing just 0.88% to the country's GDP. That's in 2021. But despite its huge potential to economic growth, the sector is still fraught with myriads of challenges, such as inappropriate pricing, risk profiling, of course, poor product market fit, inadequate distribution channels, and low public confidence. It will interest you to know that prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, industry players were already exploring a range of options to help militate against these challenges. But the twin challenge of the COVID-19 and, of course, NSAS protests compounded the woes of the industry, hereby affecting the fragile growth of that sector. To discuss this, and of course, all of the issues affecting penetration of insurance in Nigeria, I have the lead advisor at Finite Risk Advisors Limited, Mr. Olushola Oguni. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tulu. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I've been looking at issues around this insurance space and comparing it to the banking sector. That's not where I'm actually going. But do you agree of the school of thought that despite the insurance sector's low penetrative rate, Nigeria is still rated home to Africa's second largest insurance market? How come? How did we get to this point?
Thank you very much. Let me start on a lighter note.
Okay.
Do you have insurance?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. So at least you are one of the learned people that have insurance. Yeah, it's rather unfortunate that we have the biggest economy in Africa, but our insurance is very low. South Africa, number 2, their insurance sector is, as in way. South African gross written premium is around 47 billion dollars premium. South Africa economy alone. Nigeria is around 1.5 billion dollars. That's too low. So the insurance penetration has several factors militating it in Nigeria, and the earlier the better we do this thing. So I will start from the policy angle.
Go ahead.
The insurance in Nigeria will increase tremendously, will move the needle if people at the corridor of power give insurance priority. If they see insurance as not just some people making money, that insurance is actually beneficial to society. There are some risks that we cannot carry. So insurance is there to help us. So, and I will speak to the recent happenings about, then I will not talk about basic thing about the penetration. For starting, penetration means the proportion of premium as a percentage of the GDP. And it is around 0.3% actually. The last figure from NICOM says the premium was around 630 billion, and we're having a population of over 200 million. So an average Nigerian spend like $8 on insurance. In South Africa, it's about 800, and in Kenya, it's about 43. So recently, you see a lot of fire incidents, flood. People do not buy insurance as a result of several factors. Number 1, if they don't have money. Number 2, the awareness is not there. It's still low. The awareness is still low. Then number 3 is the fact that mistrust. People don't trust insurance industry. And when there is low awareness, definitely they won't know what is actually happening in that sector. So I think there are low-hanging fruit that we can talk about that can actually move that if the policymakers can respond with adequate policy. There are some compulsory insurances that are available, but buyers' behavior is still low. Some people are not even aware. They don't buy. So, for instance, at the policy level, the compulsory insurances, the retail sector. Why? If the retail sector of the insurance peaks, the insurance will peak in Nigeria. Do you know why?
Yeah.
The SMEs contribute about 48% to the GDP, right?
Yes.
They contribute about 84% to the employment. SMEs is about 96% of Nigerian business. And if we are having less than 1% penetration, it means those guys are not buying. That means we can move the needle if they start buying. And the way they start buying is by looking at the retails. Look at the fire incident that happened in Ibadan yesterday, for instance. That fire incident. It has taken a lot of people back to square one.
Yeah.
Square one. Now, look at the flood recently in Agege.
Yeah.
You see all those stuff are covered by policy. If you have fire policy, trust me, inside that fire, it covers flood. Inside that policy, it covers earthquake. It covers, you can even buy house soda for your house, which covers burglary. And there is this perception that until I have my own house, I can't buy insurance. No. If you have an apartment, even if it's just one room, my brother, you can insure the content of that room. So people will start seeing it, and it's cheap. You can buy insurance for as low as 5,000 naira to secure your room. There is one section in Insurance Act, I think Section 65 of Insurance Act 2003. For instance, it talked about the insurance of public places. Now, it is time now for Nigerian government, especially state governors that are listening. They should look at that section and make insurance. They don't need to create another agency. Existing insurance people will sell and make it compulsory, like schools, markets, all those places. Let them buy basic insurance so that when there is a disaster, they have something to fall back on. Now, when something happens, you know what people do? They go back to government. Government is broke.
Of course.
Government, we still have ASU strike. Government is broke. So if anybody has any issue with fire or flood now,
and you're waiting for government,
they will have to queue up. You don't need to queue when you have insurance. Why are you queuing? When you have insurance, as low as 5,000 naira, you can buy some policies. And you know what? You don't even need to pay at once. Some companies allow you to pay gradually. But the awareness is new.
Yes, we'll get there. Now, for the recent news, let's talk about the revocation of licenses of 2 players. That is also something that NICOM wielding the big stick. How would you react to that? Were you expecting something like that to happen? And what impact would that have on the entire sector?
Yes, thank you very much. What NICOM did was suspected because last year they actually canceled one too, NICOM Unique Insurance. So what they've done, it's part of their duty, part of their macro-prudential regulation and supervision. Those companies, they stopped, they couldn't fulfill their role, and NICOM stepped in to protect the policyholders. So from the macro point of view, is to safeguard that industry. Because right now they can't take any business. So if you allow them to be doing business, they are going to complicate matters for the own industry. So it should be expected. And that goes in line with the capitalization, right? In 2019, NICOM came up with recapitalization exercise for industry to recapitalize so that they can do big ticket transactions. They can partake so that they can have something to boast of. Those ones that have been removed now, of course, after the receivership process, maybe they will sell them and new buyers will come in. So that's it. So for the recapitalization,
let's talk about that recapitalization. Yes, also, do you think the methodology is okay, the way NICOM is going about it?
Well, when NICOM started, some industry players took NICOM to court. NICOM gave them maybe 19 months interval to conclude. So you have life company, they moved them from 2 billion to 8 billion. You have General, that is non-life, from 3 billion to 10 billion. Then you have composite guys, those who can do both life and non-life, from 5 billion to 18 billion. Then you have reinsurance, because you have an insurance company, from 10 billion to 20 billion. When NICOM did that policy, when you look at dollar rate, Naira was even stronger. So right now, Naira is weaker. And there was a court process, and during COVID, some members of National Assembly, House of Rep, said Nikon should stop it, this and this. Fine. But believe you me, I think Nikon should have a kind of a roundtable discussion with the industry player as a matter of urgency. The capital base of Nigerian industry, of Nigerian insurance industry, cannot take some big ticket transactions. Look at on the stock exchange now, for instance, only about 18 are listed, but they've removed Nigeria now. Just about 3 of them. As at last week, when you look at the capital base, about 3 of them can meet that requirement. So I expect some merger and acquisition from that industry. A lot of inefficiencies going on. Let them come together. Let them take advantage of this technology and do a lot of big things. But what Nikon is doing is good. The process has been slowed down unnecessarily. Nikon should kickstart that discussion and do the needful.
Let's move on now. In spite of all of this again, let's still stay with what Nikon is doing. We still see that people are still here to take one cover or the other. That's back to where you stopped talking about this penetration thing. Lessons from COVID-19 and of course NSAS, all we've seen. We just talked about the Ibadan fire and all of this now. So Russia-Ukraine crisis is even there. So how do we begin to intensify consumer awareness?
Thank you very much. I think the first thing is massive awareness. Massive awareness by the industry. There is even microinsurance. There are microinsurance companies, right? Massive. We did one survey. Let me give you one of the insights of that survey. In Ijebu, and this survey was done this year. We asked people, mention 5 banks. 5 banks. Some of them mention as 7, 8, 9, 10. We asked them again, mention 3 insurance companies. They struggle to mention one. And this is Djibouti. Djibouti is less than 1 hour to Lagos, right? So if people in Djibouti, very close to the center of commerce in Nigeria, are not aware of basic insurance, then what do you expect of somebody in far away Shaki or Kafancha, for instance? So number one thing is massive. As I said, I think the first thing is policy. Policy. Government should prioritize insurance. They should see insurance as a kind of a stabilizing factor for the economy. Apart from the fact that insurance people also invest in the economy. You know, when insurance people collect money, before they pay claim, they invest that money, right? Yeah. And when they invest the money, that boosts the economy. Apart from that angle, insurance will allow people, especially our economy that is massively informal. So anytime there's a disaster on a mass scale, it takes people back to square one. So government should prioritize this, and starting from state government, they don't need to create any agency. Let them tell people to buy insurance. And for instance, anytime they are doing maybe a kind of shoo transfer, like that trader's money, use the opportunity to tell them the importance of insurance. They could just, if you give somebody 10,000 naira, you can just tell the person, you buy a policy of 500 naira, something like that. Massive awareness. Then the industry players should start telling people the benefit of what they're buying. You see, when you buy third party, most people believe third party insurance now for car is for police to let me go, but it's wrong. When you buy that policy, actually, if you hit somebody else's car, the insurance company is supposed to take care of that person's car or property to the tune of 1 million. When people see, so you can claim from third party, but because they don't claim. So when people see like that you can actually
I also thought it was just let the police let you go.
It is not police let me go. It is real policy. If you buy the correct one and you verify from NIDD, it is real. So let the insurance company start talking about telling people the benefit. You know, when you tell me the benefit upfront, I will buy. You see downful driver on Lagos Road eating somebody else's car, they will start prostrating on the road. Well, I'm not saying you should destroy somebody else's car. Instead of doing unnecessary prostration on the road, or prostrating on the road, you can just call your insurance company. Maybe the damage is not even up to 200,000 naira. You don't need to go and look for your contribution money to pay. So insurance companies, as I said, policy prioritization, awareness by the industry player. Then the like of international bodies in Nigeria, they have been trying. They can also help with that awareness, so that people can see the benefit then the industry themselves need to do massive awareness, and the distribution channel, as we mentioned before, that channel is broken. Very few people are actually pursuing retail, and the retail sector is where the market is, not government. Everybody cares government business, right? So when COVID came, the insurance sector tanked because no premium for government, they can get by. When government is broke, for instance, you could tell on the operating performance. But low-hanging fruit we have, basic policy. You don't need to have, as I said, you don't need to be the owner of the house to buy. You could insure your shop. You are selling something, you could insure it. That you have something to fall back on. And people tend to say, what if nothing happens? They say, what if nothing happens? There are some companies, if you buy a policy this year and you don't have claim, maybe first year, second year, they will reduce your premium subsequent year. That's like a give back to you. And if you don't want to do that, there's some policy, there's some people that sell non-interest insurance like Takafu. If you don't make claims from that line of business, Takafu, when they declare surplus, they give you money back.
Yeah.
So for us to move the needle in the Nigerian insurance industry, there should be massive awareness in the retail sector, government at the federal and state essentially, and local government should prioritize the importance of insurance. And the insurance company, when they do marketing, for instance, they shouldn't just come and buy insurance. They should tell them upfront what it covers, the benefits, so that the mistrust level will reduce.
We've run out of time, but 1 minute, just 1 minute.
All right.
What's your projection? What are you looking at for the rest of the year for the insurance space? Do you see it doing better than it's doing, or we're still going to just be where we are?
Well, this is July. If the awareness picks up, it can get better, because actually from 2020 to 2021, the insurance sector grew more than the GDP, though due to base effects anyway. But I see if the awareness picks up, there can be more from the retail, and if government, instead of going to those fire incidents and start sympathizing, start telling them right from that place the importance
should be part of the requirements.
Yes. If you can just something before I go. Do you know in 2010 in Lagos, Governor Fashola signed Building Control Act into law, and he made it compulsory. And according to insurance act, that any building more than 2 floors that they're building, you must have contractor or risk.
Yes.
But there are some buildings that have collapsed in Lagos.
Right.
They do not have insurance. So high time government started doing something in that sector.
I must thank you so much there. I've been speaking to Mr. Olushola Oguni. It's his first time on the show. I appreciate this. We hope to have you subsequently, of course, to talk about issues around the insurance space. He is a lead advisor at Finite Risk Advisors Limited. Thank you so much. To enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate this.
Thanks so much.